Our first guest is the 43rd President of the United States. His new book is called Portraits of Courage. Please welcome President George W. Bush. Dancing. It wasn't committed to it fully, but it was a little bit of dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sober.
Yeah. It's hard to dance sober. It really is. All of these people drunk. I'm so excited to have you here. Are you as excited as I am to be here?
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah.
No, I am. People don't know this, but my daughter Jenna and you are good buddies.
Yes, we are.
And so my attitude is, if you're a good buddy of Jenna, you're a good buddy of mine.
She's a lovely girl. Your whole family. Your whole family. Yeah, she was on the show, and we called you, and you answered the phone. You actually picked up and talked to us while she was on the
Yeah,
on the
and
show.
I was actually the president.
Yeah, I know.
In the treaty room in the White House.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
We were very excited that you picked up.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. I love your whole family, your dad and your mom, and I know were both in the hospital recently, but then they were at the Super Bowl, so I was happy.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're good.
Yeah. I'm the only president with both parents alive after the presidency.
Really?
Which is a huge blessing.
Yeah, it is.
It is. And so, actually, I'm the only one of two presidents with both parents alive during the presidency.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
See how you learn things and I learn things together. We teach each other.
Yes, we do.
We do.
Yeah. Teach me how to dance, please.
I'm not the one to do that. That's Twitch. But really, I do love them very much. But you have, when you left office, and you've pretty much stayed out of politics. You kind of went and lived your life, which is great, I'm sure, and more relaxing. But I have to ask you what you think of what's going on now.
Well, I think this isn't the first time our nation's ever been divided. I remember what it was like when I got out of college. There was a Vietnam War and a draft. There were major race riots. There was political assassinations. The president was nearly impeached. And a lot of people thought the country was going down the tubes. And it turns out we're too strong to go down the tubes. And so I'm very optimistic.
Good.
But yeah, I'm out of politics. You know, my whole view is I don't think it serves the nation or the office of president to have a former president criticize his successors. Mm-hmm. And so I'm happy to be off the stage, except this one.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for being on this stage. So this is a concern, though, for me. I'll bring it up, and this is not political. This is really something that I think is important. Obviously, the media was not, great to you. They're not great to most presidents. The media is tough.
You expect them to be tough.
But Trump is raging an outright just war against all press and not allowing press to do their job, which I think is a very dangerous thing.
Well, here, I said something the other day, and of course the headlines were Bush criticizes Trump. Here's what I believed when I was president, post-president. The nation needs a free and independent press. And the reason why is that power can be very corrupting. And we need a press corps to hold politicians to account, including me. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I didn't like it sometimes when people said things that, about me, but that's the job. I always viewed I'm going to drop a big word on you. Symbiotic relationship.
Ooh.
Yeah.
4 syllables.
Yeah. Don't ask me to spell it.
All right.
And that is, I needed the press to get the message out, and they needed me to make news. And so, yeah.
But it's very important. I mean, I
yes,
think
it is very important.
We need to hear from everybody, and then it's up to us to figure out,
So I used to tell, a lot of these tyrants when I would visit with them as president, that they needed to have a free press. And I would point to our country as an example where, power doesn't make you immune to criticism. Mm-hmm. Or to corruption investigations. And so, I'm a big believer in the free press, just like I'm a big believer in free religion. You can worship or not worship, and you're equally American.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how you worship or who you worship.
When you say tyrants, were you speaking of Putin? Because you had a relationship with Putin, and Trump has a relationship with Putin, but I believe it's different.
Yeah, well, so I introduced Putin to Barney. You remember Barney, the little Scottish Terrier?
Yes.
The little guy
yes.
had legs, and he kind of dissed him. He looked at him like, you think that's a dog? Anyway, so a year later, Putin says, would you like to meet my dog? Laura and I were with Putin in his dacha outside of Moscow. I said, yeah, I'd like to meet him. And out comes a giant hound, kind of loping across the birch line yard. And Putin looks at me and says, bigger, stronger, and faster than Barney. And, you know, it speaks volumes when you listen to what somebody says. And so, in other words, he's got a chip on his shoulder.
Yep. Yep.
And so, yeah, I had a contentious relationship with him. And I think whoever the president is going to find out that Putin will push and push and push until somebody stands up to him.
Yeah. So Trump should get a hound.
Not bad.